Exactly 3 years ago, I was completely homeless, sleeping in my car. Fast forward to now, and I finally had my breakout month, making over $15,000 in a 31-day stretch. But it doesn't feel like it's supposed to. In fact, I hate it. And I'll tell you exactly why I hate it later in this video. But first, I'm gonna tell you how I got here to begin with. And don't worry, I'm not about to give you some long, drawn out story that you don't care about. Instead, I'm gonna give you 6 vital lessons that I had to learn in order to get to where I'm at today. Pay attention, because if you do, you will leave this video way better than how you came in. Because at the end of the day, this channel is dedicated for people like me. People who are autistically obsessed with becoming the best version of themselves. Not because they want more women or because they want more male validation, but because they can feel it in their bones that it is their life's purpose to do so. Let's begin. Lesson 1, take the risk even when the outcome is unsure. In January of 2022, I took the biggest risk in my life, dropping out of college and moving from Lubbock, Texas to Austin, Texas. I had no friends here, no family, absolutely nothing. I was originally in college studying to become an engineer because my father wanted me to follow in his footsteps. But I could feel it in my heart that it just was not for me. I just didn't see myself sitting behind a computer screen for the next 40 years of my life. But more importantly, I believed in my ability to create my own path. Fast forward a couple of years and now I'm making well above what somebody my age should be making. But if I would have stayed in college, I would just now be graduating. There are engineering majors that graduated from Harvard with perfect scores and are still struggling to get a job. Did I know that things were going to play out like this? Absolutely not. But I wouldn't have cared anyways, because I knew that I was going to work my ass off to get to where I wanted to, no matter what was in front of me. I was willing to take the risk without having my success guaranteed. And that's probably the biggest thing that you're missing right now. You want to wait for perfect conditions. You want to wait for your success to be guaranteed. You want to wait until you have all the information necessary before actually taking action. But by the time you have all of that, the opportunity that you're wanting to pursue will be long gone. Number 2, you will grow the most during difficulty. For the first couple of months after dropping out, I was completely homeless. This was hands down the most difficult part of my life. If you know anything about January 2022 in Austin, you would know that there was a major freeze. And during that freeze, I was sleeping in my car with no AC, freezing my balls off. It got so bad that I would have to seduce women just to have a place to sleep at night. And as a man that believes in providing and protecting for the women in my life, that's extremely embarrassing for me to admit. But in order for me to survive this period in my life, I had to become a completely different person. I had to purge myself of everything that did not help me survive. Eventually, of course, I pulled myself out of that situation. I even remember after I got my first apartment, I cried genuine tears at the fact that I had a microwave and a fridge again, because I could buy food, store it in my fridge, and heat it up the next morning. And that's a pleasure I hadn't had in a very long time. This period of extreme difficulty made me who I am today. And I'm telling you this because statistically, the likelihood of you being somebody who consistently avoids difficulty is extremely high. That's just how society has programmed us to become. But I'm begging you with all my heart, cut that out. Because the man or woman you want to become is behind the wall of difficulty you keep turning away from. Lesson number 3, be indifferent to most things. To accelerate my earning potential, I decided to pursue a career in sales. That was because I believed that sales was one of the most scalable skill sets out there in the open market. And I was right. My very first sales job was as a canvasser for a nonprofit organization. Basically, my job was to stand in front of stores all day and convince complete strangers to donate to a nonprofit organization that they've never heard of. I faced a lot of rejection at this job. I would talk to 500 to 1,000 people per day and probably only get like 10 or 20 yeses. That shit was fucking ass. Imagine getting rejected 600 times in one day and then having to go back and sleep in your car. The only way I was able to sustain this job was by becoming extremely used to rejection. Indifference was the name of the game, and this ability to take action while remaining indifferent to the result of that action is a skill that has translated universally across multiple areas of my life. This is going to sound completely counterintuitive, but the reason why you're not seeing any results in whatever you're pursuing is because you care too much about seeing the result. This is because you ultimately cannot predict your results. There are too many factors outside of your control. The only thing that you can actually do is influence probabilities through the actions that you take. That's why you need to be able to take action and remain indifferent to the results. Lesson number 4, billionaires get no hoes. Look at the world's billionaires. Elon, Zuck, Bezos, they all suck with women. And the reason why is because they're all massive dorks. But that's not a bad thing. You see, instead of wasting their time pursuing women and building up that skill set, they spent their time being obsessed with their businesses and building that up. And this level of obsession is what's necessary to break through, but it comes at the cost of your social life. And I say this because after I finally got my first apartment, there was a long stretch of time where I had absolutely no social life. All I did was work. And I felt like such a loser because I had no friends. I stopped talking to women. I had nothing. I was just working all day. But that level of obsession is what led me to where I'm at today. So I say this to you because I wish somebody would have said it to me. You're not a loser for focusing on your future. The loser is going to be the person that's stuck exactly where they're at today, 5 years from now, because they didn't have the forethought to look forward. Lesson number 5, the universe will G-check you. After a while of just being a no-life sweat, I finally scaled my income to $6,000 to $8,000 a month. I went from that canvassing job to selling security systems to then selling cars, which is what I do now. Once I got to that point, I eased up a little bit and then I allowed myself to start talking to women again. And that's when I met the only girl I will ever claim to be my girlfriend. That's because I truly fell in love with her. I wasn't using her for a place to stay or for her body. I genuinely enjoyed her company. In my eyes, our relationship was perfect. She was beautiful, very submissive. She could clean for me. I already told you guys how I am with my woman, so I provide for everything. She didn't have to pay for anything ever. Took her out all the time, protected her, stuff like that. But as time went on and the relationship continued, I could feel the flame that ignites my ambition start to dwindle. Instead of working 80 hours a week, I started working 50 to 60. Instead of coming home and thinking about ways I can improve myself, I came home and I constantly thought about ways to improve our relationship. I even stopped consistently working out. And none of these things are inherently bad. For a normal person, for somebody that wants a normal outlook in life, these are completely good things to happen. Somebody would feel blessed to have those things happen to them. To be able to pour your energy into somebody else and fill up their cup and have them pour their energy into you and fill up your cup is a very beautiful thing, but it came at the cost of my ambitious spirit. I know that I want an exceptional life. That means I need to be an exception. And that means I can't have what everybody else has. So I broke up with her. I don't get to have that type of relationship because it came at the cost of my future. And that's an idea that ate at me for months until eventually I just broke up with her. But the reason why I titled this section, "The Universe Will G-Check You," is because I truly believe that that relationship was a test of my resolve. Because just 2 months after ending the relationship, I made $15,000 in 1 month. It's really 20, but I don't get paid the rest of the money for a couple of months, so I'm gonna just say 15. And I bring this lesson to your attention because everyone talks about what they want out of life. Fewer people take action towards it, and even fewer people are willing to sacrifice for it. I can't name another man that would be willing to sacrifice their relationship in order to move forward in life. Number 6, you're not a high income earner. You're just a financial prostitute. We finally caught up to present day, and I'm officially a high income earner. I should be happy. I should be proud of myself, but the only thing I feel is pure rage. As I dig down and I meditate on why, I come to the realization that the noose around my neck has tightened. I might have a decent income, but I also have more to lose. And all my efforts are going towards making another man rich. And worst of all, I don't even have my own freedom. I am a financial prostitute, a wage slave. If master tells me to jump, I have to ask how high, and that bothers me deep down to my core. But things will stay this way until I figure out how to build my own empire. The reason why I bring this to your attention is because people like us, people who do not want to settle in life, people with delusions of grandeur, have a higher probability of being adverse to authority. We do not like being told what the fuck to do. That is one of the core chemical compounds of our ambitious spirit. But if we do not master and control it, it will be our downfall. You will never reach the upper echelons in life if you do not learn when it's time to submit. And this is a problem that I had for a very long time. And it doesn't always have to be submission to an employer. It might be submission to a teacher, a very important connection, submission to a client even. There will be times when submission is necessary. You need to learn how to exist in somebody else's empire. But the key is to be building your own empire at the same time. And how exactly do you build your own empire? Well, that's exactly what this channel is for. I'm going to leave you with these two proverbs. True freedom belongs to those with the balls to stand against oppression and the resilience to face the aftermath. Success is like getting pregnant. Everybody's gonna say congratulations. Nobody wants to think about how many times you got fucked.